Summer of Julia.
Summer of Julia. It's happening. Okay. Yeah. Hi, I'm Julia Wright, and I'm a writer, photographer, and freelance journalist in St. John. Okay, right now I am reading, well, I just finished The Odyssey, actually, which is, as you probably know, this epic Greek poem about Odysseus, who's far from home. He gets shipwrecked far away from the place where he lives, and then he has to fight monsters and cyclops and sirens and all of these crazy monsters in order to get back again. And it's a pretty meaty read, but it's actually so much fun because it inspired so many fantasy novels and movies and other things in our culture. So yeah, I was an English major, right? So I studied English at McGill for my master's and at UNB before that. So reading is a massive part of my life. I'm always trying to, push my limits a little bit with what I'm taking on for reading, but I like to have fun with it too. So it's everything from comic books to classic literature and everything in between.
Yeah, so you were an English major. How can you talk about how you got into journalism?
Yeah, that's a really long odyssey. It's quite a journey. So it was not a conventional path to journalism for me. I always thought I was going to be a teacher. That was always what I thought I was going to do, and teach English specifically. But when I went away to school, I realized that writing was what I was really passionate about in addition to teaching. So I started doing some little side projects on my own, doing creative writing nonfiction stories about the place where I live. And when I came back to St. John after I finished my degrees, I was working at the city market at a restaurant called the Tea Infusion, and I was making sandwiches and soup and, working in the kitchen and thinking that maybe my master's in English had been a huge waste of time. When a friend of mine, Pamela Marie Pierce, and I decided to get together and do a zine. And that was just a way to get our stuff out there, to publish things for fun. We didn't really want to monetize it or do anything other than get our creative work out there in the public eye. So we got a typewriter and photocopier and just went to town, started working on a zine called The Tempest. And after we put out a few issues of that and gave it away for free in St. John, someone from the Telegraph Journal got a copy of it, and then we got an interview for Here magazine when that existed. And they interviewed me and did a story about the zine, and then from that they gave me an internship, which was my first journalism job. So from there, I worked at the country music station and the Wave in the newsroom, and eventually parlayed that into a column with the Telegraph Journal for a hot minute until that got canceled because they didn't like the name, which was Real Johners. That was not going to fly with the folks there at the time. But then I was looking around for something else to do, and mat leave came up at CBC, so I applied for that and ended up there as a newsreader. That was in 2016. So that was how the whole trajectory started, which was quite a ride. Definitely not like your normal J school to journalism path, but it's been a really interesting one.
So how does it feel not being at CBC anymore?
To be honest, I was ready to make a change. I loved my time at CBC. I got to do some amazing work there. Met some incredibly fascinating St. Johners, people from across New Brunswick. Had my heart broken a million times by stories that I heard from people, laughed my head off, went on tugboats, pilot boats, a lot of boats actually, but also explored out in the woods for stories. We met people at their random shacks in the wilds near Fundy National Park. There's so many adventures associated with that job that, I could never say it was a bad experience, but while journalism was an awesome career, it is not the only awesome career out there. And I'm ready to see what's next. I'm never going to stop writing. I'm never going to stop interviewing people. I'm never going to stop being part of the St. John community and telling stories from here. But there are other ways to do it, and I'm excited to have more freedom in how I do it.
Great.
Yeah.
It's so you. You are a real Johnner. And you are the one who tells these stories, and it makes me happy to know that you're not going to stop.
Never. I can't. It's kind of in my blood. we don't live in Montreal or Toronto or Vancouver where there's like endless variety and change and new places to explore every single day. Like we've seen a lot of change in St. John since 2020 specifically. But at the end of the day, this is still a small place. So my philosophy of St. John is you might as well get to know as many people and as many stories about it as you possibly can. That's how you make the place new day to day. And that's how you can make being here endlessly fascinating. So for me, that creation is how I explore. It's how I relate to my home. And so, CBC was a big part of that, but there are so many other parts of that that have come before and that are yet to come. We think sometimes that we know everything about the place. And there's a sense of disillusionment sometimes with people who have been here for a long time. And I realize by talking to people and by putting myself outside my comfort zone and starting conversations and asking questions and being inquisitive about the people around me that we know nothing actually, and that there is a whole range of experiences and places and people here, even here at home, that we don't know anything about yet. That makes it exciting to me to live here. I feel that that's what makes me keep doing this, because I'm constantly shocked and surprised by the things that I discover about things in neighborhoods, people that I thought I knew well sometimes. So just by being curious, it opens up horizons in familiar places that you didn't know existed. Also, you can come away from conversations and interviews and stories with new friends, with new capacity within yourself to feel things, and with new perspectives on issues or things that we're facing here in St. John that you thought you had your mind made up about, and your mind can always be changed. To me, a true genre is not defined by geographic location. I believe that you can live anywhere and be a genre, but it's a state of mind. So it's marked by a DIY approach to life, working with what you have, where you are, with what's available, and also a healthy disdain for the powers that be. And if you can't overthrow them, then you can at least kind of make fun of them and make light of them a little bit.